Yeah, no. No, it's fair. So like, as far as where your career is at now, do you have like projects in the works? Like, what are you up to these days with it? Because I know you hit me up to do the interview, which is fire. Because again, I'm like on my quest of learning who people is, but well, how do you see your like next little bit playing out with regards to your projects and whatnot?
I really feel like in the past 2 years, now it's like I got the ball rolling a little bit. Like the snowball is starting to roll. Cause like we've been saying, I've been doing music since 16. I've been recording in studios, even if it's just my friend's studio, we'll be in a closet, but I'm still recording. I've been recording music consistently for 10 years. But now it's the time in the past 2 years, everything I've released, especially in this last year, I'm standing behind my shit now. And I'm not really working on an album, so to speak, but I'm just gonna focus on consistently dropping, consistently putting out content, and consistently showing people that this is what I'm doing with my life. This is what the fuck I'm doing. And I do it well. You don't have to, it may not be your type of music. You don't have to like it. And not a lot of people like the half rock shit. Not a lot of people like you know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but I mean,
I know for
I'm
a
doing
fact
this.
there's an undercurrent of Montreal that fucks with that shit. Like, just too many people that make that kind of music for it to not like be a vibe. Like, I've got a 2 3 song that fit in nice with your new metal shit. Like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like, one of them's not out, but I could show it to you because it's just I don't know if I have permission to release it. But I did a whole track with a band that wanted their Rage Against the Machine moment kind of thing. So like,
Okay. Okay.
motherfuckers be like into it. There's just I don't know if like the fans are into it. I assume they would be, but there's like a shit ton of like artists just all over that kind of independently fuck with it,
Honestly,
that don't like congregate and create like the vibe. But I would go to the new metal rap
I
show.
thought it was like the other way around, and I feel like the fans and the people who like music want it. I feel like the artists and the musicians sometimes I found it hard with metalheads and rock heads. They don't want to hear no rap shit. They're like, oh, if you're gonna do a song with me, I don't want to hear no rap shit. And then you got the hip hop heads that don't want to hear no rock shit. Like some dudes are too stuck into their little box, into their little genre, and they don't want to do nothing else. And it's hard. It's frustrating sometimes. That's why I kind of eased off the new metal shit, the rock shit. I kind of eased off it because you know
I
it's
definitely
not
know
as
it.
easily. It's not as easily. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I guess it's just not as easily taken for people. Some people get shocked by it. Some people get like put off by it. They're like, "Oh, what's going on? Are you a rapper or are you a rocker?" They're asking me like, "Yo, what do you do?" Because for a certain amount of time, I was putting out one song that sounded like this, and then I put out another song that sounds like that, and then I'm doing like horrorcore Halloween videos, and they were just like, "Yo, what are you doing? What's your sound?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I'm just doing whatever the fuck I feel like that day."
Yo, it's
You
wild
know?
to me. It's like I'll talk to like 20-year-olds and shit that be like playing the game more like they're deliberately doing what you just described. Is where I was going with that. Because yo, so if you drop like a singing song and then you follow it up with like a hard track and then you do like this next thing, it creates this vibe where they never know what you're gonna do next. They might like it, they might hate it, but they're gonna keep checking. And I'm like, oh, they're fucking smart. but
But I'm not even thinking about it like that. That's just like how it happened. I was like, I want to put this out. I want to put this out. I want to put this out.
it made me hella curious to go through YouTube in a way where yo, if it is the same vibe, you just know what you're getting, and I will tune out more than if you are gonna create the versatility. But I hear what you're saying about the people wanting to fuck with it, because while I did that one track with that band, it took years to find a band that was willing to work with a rapper. In fact, they'd all say the same shit to me.
Yo,
They'd be like, "Yo, I love the idea.
they don't want it.
I love the idea. I love the sound of the shit. I think it would be like really fun. But, my band makes this music, so we can't do that." And individually, each of the musicians would let you come jam with them, even. But the branding of the band up until like what, 2016 in my experience, 17 even, wouldn't allow anybody. And it was like I know I propositioned like 50 bands over the course of 4 years. Any band I would name. I was a slut. I was like, if you were a band, I also did it with DJs, like EDM DJs. I was like, yo, let's do some shit. I had no means to do some shit. I was brave when I didn't know how hard it was to pull off some shit.
Man, I had so much of a hard time trying to get just my boys, bandmates to respect my shit. Like, my boy who I do the rock shit with, who you see in the videos for Red Couch, he's playing the guitar with me and we're going off. He has his own band. He always had his hard rock band. And like, I always wanted to work with them. I always was like, yo, Jay, man, let me do a song with your band. And he was all for it. And then the rest of the band's like, I don't know, the rapper, I don't know. And it was so hard. It took so long. Like,
Yo, and now I'm not even gonna lie. It feels like that's the current like. There's a lot to be done in that lane right now that's profitable if we want to go down the path of like, not even because of like local trends, but just like Travis Barker, like almost single-handedly has revived a lot of nu metal in my opinion. He did so many things with rappers. I mean, you could run that shit back to the like 3 a.m. remix and shit like that.
Oh my god!
Like think about
the
how
Forever,
like they did
the
Forever live
remix.
at the fucking Grammys. They turned it into like a nu metal jam for a VMA performance or some shit.
The Forever
I feel like
remix
by himself, he was like a one-man mission to like make sure that nu
to
metal
work with rappers. Yeah,
but like, and then I heard him do that project with Suicide Boys, which I loved, which surprised the fuck out of me. Yo, what's up, Chemo? It surprised the fuck out of me because, come on, like at first I was a hater when it came to Suicide Boys. Not like a typical hater, a old man hater. Like fuck this, I'm being old now. And then I stopped being old when I heard it with Travis Barker. I heard the shit they did. I'm like, oh, this is so litty. And then I went back and I'm like, oh, I'm just being an old man. And I had to, I have that battle a lot now. Sometimes it's hard for me to get into newer musics and shit.
Yo, Suicide Boys, Lil Peep. There was a point in my life where Lil Peep was huge. And R.I.P. to him, a kid gone. He was going to be huge because he was special.
Lil Peep is by far one of my faves. I'm going to throw it out there.
Like, that whole emo rap scene, the XXX shit, that whole Suicide Boys, Ghost Main, all that shit, I loved it because I was like, oh shit, I related to it so much. Like, because for a certain point of time, it was only really like I was hearing just like drill stuff, you know, like the Chicago stuff, and then like that music is really what's popping. Or if it's not that, it's the melodic auto-tune sing rap type stuff. That's what's really popping right now. But then I found this whole underground shit of this dark, angry emo rap shit, dudes screaming on 808 beats and shit and just talking about being depressed as fuck. But it was dope. I fucked with it so much. I had like a whole year of just listening to that shit, maybe because I was going through my own shit, but it helped. That music really was dope as fuck at that time for me.
No, I fucks with it like now. I'm not even gonna lie. Even Ghost to Main, I accidentally jacked his vocal tone.
Hard.
I didn't know what he sounded like, so you gotta understand. I did this shit without knowing what the fuck he sounded like, and I said to a guy, and guy's like, "Oh, he sounds like Ghost to Main," and I'm like, "What's that mean?" So I went and listened to it, and I found out it's rap like Marilyn Manson. But like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, because I spent a lot of time doing Marilyn Manson voices. I'm not even gonna lie, I'll fucks with him heavy. Like, this is the new shit. Is like, in my opinion, a track that is really test your voice. You gotta do a lot of things with your voice to do This Is the New Shit properly. And he gives you that a lot, I find. So I listen to Ghost Domain and I'm like, say a fucking word. We are in a different or that Corpse guy. His voice is so cool.
I've heard a couple. I've heard a couple of his things. There's a lot of it took a lot of time for me to learn how to use my voice in different ways and do different sounds and be unique with it, you know?
Yeah, that shit takes practice.
Yeah, for sure. And listening to all these different dudes that who do it, I always admired and I always was inspired by artists who didn't sound like when you hear them talking in the interview, they don't sound like how they sound on the CD. Like when they sing or when they rap, it's a you know, it's a talent, it's a different vibe, it's a different voice. Something comes out and it's something different. You know what I mean? I always really fucked with that.
Nah, I fucks with that too.